I think you would do very well and succeed doing that. A lot of people are interested in that stuff.
Yeah. And we are live.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. I snuck it in on Steve. He didn't know we were going live yet. So,
so what?
Anyway, we got Bill back with us. Jerry's he's feeling better, he said, but he still was a little under the weather. And so he might be in chat today. I don't know. But anyway, we got Bill back from globetrotting, and we'll see what we can do today. And we're going to let Dennis do the rundown because Steve's having internet problems. So,
all right, now this is my first time to ever do this, so there's a potential for disaster. All right, we got Ray Ron, we got John Tanzillo, Dave BNSF in scale, Ray Bertelson, Eagle Creek Railroads, and I apologize if I don't know everybody's name. Heath is in the house. We got Iron Horse Model Railroad.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian. Okay. Allie's here. Rob T-Man. New Fenris Railroad.
Hey, Bill.
Schuylkill Valley Railroad.
Hey, Bill.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Hot Dog Pilot Andy. Almar. Chris Brew. And Thomas Moore's Trains. I think that's it.
Did you get Hot Dog Pilot Andy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just missed it.
You're going to have to tell us about that. That's an interesting name.
Wonder if he's a crop duster.
Boy, I tell you, Chris, you've become a regular Saturday mornings. You got no life either.
I'd kind of wondered that about all of us.
Jack just came in, and DES Media Productions is also here.
Dave.
So we've got about 23 watching. I don't know if all 23 are chatting, but
I don't know if you guys were like me. I kind of missed not being on last week.
Yeah,
it was also nice not to mess with it. But
I thought, before the family started showing up, and actually, I don't even think we had family show up. I can't remember if we did or not. But thinking like, I'm not doing anything anyway, other than working on a structure build.
Yeah. Okay. Dog decided she wanted to come in this morning.
Well, we've been doing it for so long. It's like, you get up on a Saturday morning and there's nothing to do. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Well, last week, I was in Bangkok at this point in time, and I was still kind of awake. It'd be like 10 o'clock at night there from East Coast time, conversion. And I was kind of looking, and it's like, oh, wait a minute, it's a holiday weekend. I'm guessing there's no show.
She's being needy. Yeah, say hello. Say hello. Anyway, yeah, it's weird when you don't do it on Saturday, when you've been doing it for so long, and then all of a sudden you're not doing it. In fact, I got up last Saturday going, "Oh, I didn't set the show up last night," and then I remembered, "Oh, we're not doing it this week," because I always try to set it up at least by Friday, and so it's on the schedule. Okay, down you go.
Well, yeah. We have a good time, even if nobody else does.
Oh yeah. So
it's been a while since we've had Bill. Has it been 3 weeks or more?
Yeah,
has it been a full month?
Yeah, it's probably been a month. I know.
I'm curious of what's going on with the new in-scale commission build.
I can show you here. So I have been able to make a little progress. And I've got a few other little odds and ends, but let me just kind of flip it around. So here is the end scale build that I'm doing for a Jerry that lives in the Richmond area, retired gentleman.
Make him bigger, Claude.
He's working on it, I think.
No, I was typing to somebody.
Okay. Am I bigger yet?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Since I can't see, I'm holding the phone. So anyway, this is going to be his layout. I've got the frame. It's, this is lightweight so that he's going to be able to move it and put it on a cabinet that he's already got built that a friend of his put together. Just before the show, as I was kind of farting around over here, I've got the pink foam board now glued using construction adhesive to the cross pieces. What I'm going to do today is I'll come in and do a little bead of construction adhesive caulk sort of around, come in and do my final paint. I'm going to paint the top of the 1x3 green. That way it sort of blends this in a little bit, because right now, if you're looking at it, the frame pulls the eye away from the layout. So I'm going to make the top of this green as well. Later on today, I will be able to break out the track that Jerry provided me, and I'll start to do a dry setup, just laying track out to make sure that the different components fit relative to the plan that he made. And once I get that done, then I'll put everything together and put some power to it and start running some trains. It'll be a DC layout. Underneath, I've got the cross pieces. I've got places where I can run wiring for him. He's still not sure if he's going to have any blocks on it. Probably will end up doing a little bit of blocks, just a few, because he's wanting to run just a single train, but maybe have another one in position where he can do some switching. So that's kind of where we're at with Jerry's build. I've got a box under there that's got track he provided. I've got the track plan, a whole bunch of flex track and cork. He's provided everything that I need to build the layout for him. And he is currently working on building buildings. So, this will move pretty quick, but it's what he needs and what he wants, a very lightweight little layout. When everything is said and done, he'll be able to pick it up, make it vertical. Stuff's not going to fall off because I'll have everything glued and adhered. I'll rough up the surface where we're doing scenery and stuff so it adheres to the pink foam board, and there's not going to be a lot of stuff popping off. But that's kind of where we're at with Jerry's build. Show you a couple of other things real quick. Had some of this stuff in some videos before I went on some trips, but got a bunch more stuff from Caboose Stop Hobbies, but went to an NMRA show just before I left, and they had a white elephant table where they had all kinds of stuff that was other people's for sale. So I got all of this DPM stuff for like $2 a bag. So I think it was like $40 or less for all of this DPM. Underneath here's a car carrying box. I think it was like 15 or 16 cars that I got for $40. Tons of different things that I've accumulated, and I am really, really, really out of space. I don't have room for anything else.
Yeah, you need a bigger garage.
I do. I haven't done anything else up for the storage. That's still a work in progress. I've got materials for it, but I've got the space underneath the O-scale layout full of boxes of trains. I just need to stop buying right now until I get other stuff set up.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what I've been up to. I'm thinking of taking this again to the Richmond Greenberg train show in latter part of January. Just not sure yet. I don't want to transport it the same way I did last year on a big truck. I need to get like a trailer that's like one of the landscape trailers that has the door that opens up 6.5 feet. So I'm still trying to figure that out. And if I can figure that out, then I'll take this to a show again in January. But that's kind of where I'm sitting with stuff. This is going to go pretty quick once I get the track work started. So make a lot of progress on that one.
Allie says it's easier said than done on not buying stuff.
Yeah. I've got a couple more ON30 engines I bought from Caboose Stop Hobbies that I got to pay for. That they had a couple of Porters DC, and it's like, how much you want for them? It's like, 150 for both. I'll take them. I have no room for them. I got engines up the wazoo over there, in storage that I haven't even taken out of the box yet. It's addictive.
There's got support group for recovering model railroaders. You know,
12-step program.
Yeah, Tom wants to know if you're getting a brass N-scale locomotive.
That's an idea. At some point in time, I probably will. Oh, there's so much stuff that you can buy, and I just have no room for it anymore. I've just got too many boxes of trains. You know, it's always a good thing to have a lot, but right now I just really do not have space.
Well, Mike says the same thing, you know, and I did the same thing. When Dennis was here twice, I gave him all kinds of stuff to get out of my shop, and I still got too much stuff. I just couldn't get him to take
all in a box right over here now.
Oh, it is definitely a sickness.
Yeah. And I'll continue to buy. I have no doubt that I'm going to see stuff like we were talking before the show, in Germany for part of the trip, anytime anybody goes anywhere overseas, what you need to do is always do a Google search, train stores near me, and, allow it to get your location. And you'll be surprised at the amount of train stores and hobby shops that are still in existence in other countries. And I found a really good one in Hilden, Germany, which is near Dusseldorf. And talking to the guys before the show, it was a huge hobby shop, European stuff, mostly a little bit of American, but the prices were great. A lot of new and used equipment, track, accessories, all scales. I was like a kid in a candy store in there, and I had no space in my luggage. So I had bought like a little switch in that's just going to go on display. If I could have figured out how to ship tons of stuff back, I probably would have maxed out my credit card.
Yeah, you had to get that little fix, didn't you?
Had to get a little bit, yeah. And carried it around for the rest of the trip. It's like, yeah, I got it. I got something.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say something and I completely forgot what it was. Oh, so anyway, what are you doing, Dennis? I know you had a video out here last week.
Well, my most recent accomplishment, of course, is the Cracker Bakery. And this one,
can you say that?
Of course, every building that I finish, I say is my favorite building. So right now, this one's definitely my favorite. I wish I could get a little more light on it, but
yeah, we can see it. Okay.
Now that looks.
It's another 2x4 build, 2x4 build. And, the only real difference between this one and any of the other ones that I've done to this point is, the awning here, the porch, this is all plastic. It's all scratch built except for the titchy railing here. And then the technique that I used for the signage was a new experiment. And I would say it was successful, but it wasn't what I was hoping for, I guess I would say, because what I was wanting was this kind of font that was a much closer match to the actual prototype, which I don't know if I've got. Yeah, I do. Hold on. Spill a cup of coffee. You can see the prototype. Of course, I'm reverse image at the moment, but you can see that there's more than just block black lettering or green or whatever color it was than what I wanted. This is what I was going for, but the technique I used is I got it from Doug Foss. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Foss Scale Models. And it's where all you do is you create a reverse image here, and then you put this on your wood, and then you rub off with acetone, and it's supposed to stick to your wood, which it did. It's just that there wasn't enough ink. If this was O scale or larger, I could have created that outline of the lettering instead of the block lettering, but I couldn't get it thick enough that you could see from 3 feet away. So I just went with solid black lettering on it, and In the long run, it turned out okay. So that's my most recent accomplishment. I do have Maroon Creek is out in the shop right now. I'm doing track work on it. I've got about 4 more turnouts to build, and then I can get serious about getting the track permified.
Permified.
Yeah, it's a technical term we use in Oklahoma. Similar to tuba 4. Permified.
Two before.
Yeah.
Yeah, permified. I've heard that before. Oh, well, yeah. You know, one of the great things about the hobby, and then of course the social media stuff that we do. And we've said this before, is you get ideas from everybody else. I've stolen stuff from Bill. I'm going to do some stuff Dennis has done. Well, I've already done some stuff Dennis has done. And I'm going to be doing a scratch build that I need of a particular building that I want to do. And I'm going to use his techniques on it, I think, for the most part. I don't know if it'll be exactly like what he does, but it'll be close to that.
That's the cool thing about it is everything is always going to be a little bit different every time you do it. Even if you try to do the same technique, it's probably not going to come out the same way that someone else did it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, even when you're doing it yourself, I notice when I do stuff, it usually, hopefully, is always a little bit better than the last thing I did or the last time I tried something. What's really hard is trying to replicate something I did before, because half the time I can't remember how I got it that way. But
that creates everything is unique. Even if you're following the same pattern or recipe, nothing's going to look exactly alike.
Well, and
like
that's
Dennis, your buildings are fantastic. Everything that you're touching is like mint gold. You know, you've got some good skills at building for sure.
Thank you. If you ever move to O scale when you get older, what do you mean when I get older? I'm already older. Will you start making 4x8 buildings? I have no plans to move to O scale, just because it's going to take. I believe it's going to take the rest of my life to complete this build. So
you're young yet, Dennis. Don't say never.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. I'm looking at mine, and the upper deck is getting real close to being moved upstairs, and then I can start doing all the final scenery and detail stuff that I'm really looking forward to doing. But I'm starting to get excited about it again for that fact. But yeah, I've been doing the wiring and stuff out on the bench, and that really helped, not having to look underneath to do everything, because I wired everything in 2 days. And when I went to test it, everything was working fine. So I won't know for sure until I drop it back down level, and I've got it sanding on edge right now, but when I get it dropped back down level, then I can test locomotives and stuff on it.
Now, are you going to film the moving that up the stairs so we can watch you fall?
I don't know that I'll film it, but it'll go up. It's going to be 2 pieces. You saw how big it is, what I've got on there, but those are joined together right now, and they will come apart. And then that'll make it much easier getting it upstairs.
Yeah.
Oh, I will, Jack. I will test it again for sure. Because invariably, when I wire something new or put some new track on, when I go to test it, there's a short. So. And I did find, well, actually, when I first did test it, I did have a short, but what I'd forgotten to do is I hadn't cut the gaps on the reversing section yet. So once I did that, then everything was fine.
Are you going to take us out to the shop and show us?
Well, I can, yeah.
I think you should.
Yeah,
I think so.
what were you showing
think so?
earlier was looking really good.
Get the camera set up here. Oop. Not that one. That one. There we go. Okay, and then make this big. Okay. I'll keep you from getting sick while we're going out there.
I'll just look away.
Yeah, I got my hand over it, so you don't have to worry about it. Now this is out of my shop and not up on the layout, but yet. But kind of got this idea from Dennis too about doing the wiring down in the shop before I take it upstairs, because everything else I did, built all the bench work upstairs and then wired it. But this is all 20 gauge solid wire. Actually just used the red and white as all doorbell wire, basically 20 gauge doorbell wire.
Now,
got the mixing section down here. Go ahead.
do you have holes cut in your L girders there for the wiring to go
Yeah.
underneath?
What I did was, because these L girders, when I
Yeah.
carry it upstairs, will come off, I just made some notches where I needed to go. And I've got one here that doesn't have wire in it yet, because what I have to do, here's my splice. And when I take that apart, when I take this apart, it'll be, of course, two pieces. So here's my dividing line right here. All the track will be cut on that line. And so each side is wired up separately.
Gotcha.
And this will be one side, and then this is the other side. But when I get it up there and get it put together, I can run one wire from this one. Well, two wires from this one to this one, and the whole thing will be connected again. And this is the front edge, so it'll be real easy to get to. The only thing that might be a little tough is this one tortoise is on the splice, and I have to wait till I get it up there to put that in, but that'll be the toughest part, because that'll be the bottom side of this is where the wall will be. And of course, this is the front edge, but I will take all of these off when I carry it up there. These are strictly on here now. So I knew where they were going to be when I laid track and stuff.
When you say these, do you mean, I assume that's a 1x4, but is the cleat already on there?
Yes.
Or is that all one unit?
It's glued together.
Okay. Gotcha.
So I'll just take these screws out. I'll put them upstairs and get those all set up. And then I can bring the sheets up, the top up, sub road bed up, and lay it on top of them.
Yeah.
And then I'll put everything back together, fasten this up. This will get glued then once I get up there. Right now, it's only glued on one side. The other side's just screws to hold it together while I'm working on it. But this
looks
point
real familiar.
Stairs will have to have another external brace on it. And I may have one in the middle. I don't know if I'm going to go down with that brace or up to the ceiling. I'd rather go up to the ceiling, but I don't know what it'll be. But this is this is the track plan right here.
Whoa, is that trestle already attached?
This trestle's already attached. That's the one.
You're braver than me.
Trestle.
I know what would happen with me. I'd tip that over and destroy it.
Yeah. Well, that's why I didn't lay it all the way upside down. Plus, I needed to be able to get to both sides of it. But I didn't have a table, and I wasn't going to build one like you had where you could flip it up, back and forth.
Right.
So,
well, I use spacers, like they're 2x4s on feet that I can put on my bench, and I can strategically place them on the bench, and I don't know how tall your trestle is there, but they would be taller than the trestle, so the trestle would just hang on the bottom and not touch it.
Well, I could actually flip this upside down and hang the trestle off this workbench that I've got. This workbench is about the size of an interior door, so It's 2 foot by 6'8", something like that. And I did that on purpose for when I was building airplanes on it. But I could flip this upside down and lay it on there, and it would just lay flat on the track here. But this line right here is where I'll cut all the track before I take it apart. And then it's wired. Each side is wired up so it can be, when it's hooked together, when the two circuits are hooked together, the whole thing will work. But that's what I've been doing. And besides all the buildings I've been building, and I don't think I've got any new buildings to show you. But oh yes, I do have one. Like this. Set this down here. I'll set it right here. This is a little church building, and I don't remember what kit this is. It's some old kit that I got pretty cheap. And I wanted a church building for Timberline. This none of the stuff inside came with the kit. All the people are, I don't know, wherever you get the people from. And then everything else inside the pulpit and all the pews and all that are all scratch built. And of course, it's going to be lit. It'll be lit also. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. But this is getting real close to going upstairs. I'm just waiting on a couple of more tortoises, because you wouldn't think it, but I've got 14 tortoises that'll be on this. So there's quite a few turnouts and stuff, and then the one reversing section, which I've already got. But as soon as those tortoises get in, I get those on here, then I'll flip it back right side up and test it with locomotives and make sure everything's working good track wise, and then we'll take it upstairs. So that's what I've been doing.
Looking good.
Very nice.
Impressed.
Where I went there.
Didn't have to take Dramamine before the show.
Yeah, I just look for no more than like 2 or 3 seconds at a time.
Okay, Steve, your turn.
My turn.
Yeah.
Oh,
Tell everybody what you've been doing here lately.
getting back into woodworking. Actually, that's why I'm out here, because I outgrew my shop, because I did an update just to kind of show the rearranging and tweaking of all the power tools out there so that I can start getting back into woodworking. And I spent a day out here cleaning this place because there was 3 inches of sawdust on everything out here. I've got knick-knack, man cave shelf over here with all kinds of stuff. So I spent the whole day out here with my little brush, and I vacuumed the layout, took all the cobwebs off, and moved back into here because I'm going into business. I'm going to be making router carved signs. So I'm getting that set up, and there's a lot of money to be made in that. And I didn't realize that. And they're easy to do. And they're you can knock out one of those signs in 30 minutes and make, 20 or 30 bucks. And I've got everything I need except for the little fine point router bits that I'm going to be doing. And also, before the show, we were talking about Dennis having a bunch of trestles to build. So I milled out a whole ton of leftover mahogany from the train build. And these are all scale pieces, all the way down to even 4x4s in HO. So we were talking about what he's going to be needing for his scratch build. So I'm going to mill out a whole bunch of stuff for Dennis, because I made a little tiny jig for table saw, and it works along with, it's a little 16th inch veneer disc that my dad had, and it cuts really thin. I made some zero clearance throat plates for my table saw. And what happens is this blade just fits right in through the top of the thing. So you can get this down to like just a little mini table saw with this, little jig on here. You can you can mill this stuff really, really tiny. So
you're going to have to do a video on how you do all that, Steve.
You think?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Hey, Steve,
yeah.
show that again. Show that jig again.
Okay. Let me.
Sorry, I was dealing with the dogs.
Oh, don't you hate that?
They're both female, so you know. They can't
I'm
decide
not
if they want
going-
to be in here or out there.
But anyway, the throat plates allow the blade to come right through the top of it, and there's no place for these little pieces of veneer to drop in. And with the jig on the top, you turn it into a mini table saw with little tiny push sticks, and you can mill this stuff out really tall. I've got they're just what do you call little wedges for, I don't know, I think I used them when I was laying tile, and they're kind of like little fingers that hold the material down
Right.
as it runs through the blade. So it keeps it right next to this little tiny fence, and I can run out a 16th inch strip and come out pretty accurate all the way through the cut. Like these, where the hell are the 4x4s? They're half the size of a toothpick, and they measure out to 3/64 square, which is really tiny. They're scale 4x4s. So Dennis needs 4x4s and 6x6s for his buildings, and 12x12s and stuff for his bents, for his trestles. But so that's what I'm kind of doing. I'm getting back into the woodworking thing. So one more bunny trail I'm going down. So train's put away, and gonna do that. But
Are you still going to drive a bus? You still going to drive a bus?
oh yeah, still doing the bus.
I was thinking that maybe the kids were driving you towards doing something else.
No. This is an addition. I like driving the bus. I'm going full time on that. So between that and making some side money with the signs, so I found this guy on YouTube. I think his name is Rick Brolin or whatnot, but he's you ever go to the carnivals and they've got some guy running a router and making signs and whatnot. Anyway, he's done that since he was 10 years old. He's our age. I think he's in his late 50s, early 60s. So he's been doing that since he was 10, and his dad was doing it before him. And now he's got his kids doing it, and he sells these router bits, all the stuff and stencils and things to make these signs. And he does live streams similar to what we do every week. And he's got quite a following of people that join his chats, and he's very helpful. He answers emails immediately, answers questions. He's even got ideas on marketing this stuff. And I didn't realize that there's a demand for these things. And you can make a pretty decent chunk of change. So that's I figure I'm going to spend this winter making a bunch of the signs and a bunch of the blanks and things, and get set up for this spring when the farmers markets open up and you can rent a space and put this stuff out. And my wife and her best friend are thinking about doing something along the lines of some crafts. She made a gift for my wife years ago, and it's just an old rustic picket fence. I think it's got 4 pickets on it, and she painted up Christmas scenes on it, and it comes out every year for Christmas, and easy to do, easy to, and easy to sell. So they're going to make those. I'm going to, sorry, still sawdust out here. So anyway, we're going to see where that goes. But yeah, but anyway, the shop out there is getting kind of crowded.
Steve, did you show everybody
the layout's not in the shop?
Well, the whole, it's in the building.
Okay.
The shop part is just right.
So there is a
over
door
that.
between you and the shop in the layout room.
Yeah, here it is here.
I couldn't remember.
I'll just take it is. You see, that's my knick-knack shelf, and just memorabilia from when I was a kid or whatnot, and potbelly stove. And then I don't move too fast because I'm a dentist, but I've got the shop part is in here, and then you get the layout part over here.
Cool.
Is it jerky?
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're used to it.
Okay, well then I'm going to put it back.
So Steve, you have to move your trains in your workspace as well to free up some space?
No.
Your big one.
So, oh, my big, oh, well, here.
Yeah.
Let me move that because it's put away for the winter. I'm going to jerk for a minute and then I'll stand still.
And show everybody the sign you made for the gate.
I can't. It's on the gate.
Oh, it's on the gate. Well, he sent me a picture of it, and he said it looks like a train number board, which it does.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's black with the lettering for the address. But yeah, the train is over there covered up.
Oh, okay.
But I've just got, I'm just getting a area set up here to work. But you can see how crowded it is out here now. It's still a mess. But anyway.
I know I need a bigger garage. I think you do too.
Everybody
have
needs
this.
more space than what they've already got, right? I've never heard anyone complain that they have too much space.
Yeah, that never.
Wow.
No, that's not a problem. Until you got to pay your property taxes, and then it becomes a problem.
I want to give a shout out. I think Tom watches our show. She doesn't watch it live, but she watches the replays, and that's how she keeps track of what I'm doing, which I didn't know. So hey, say hi to Joyce when she watches.
I didn't hear the name.
Joyce.
And that's your mom?
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Hi, Joyce.
She's a Facebook stalker.
Well, hello, Joyce.
So anyway, but no, that's what I've been up to. But yeah, I start back driving on Monday, so I'll be doing that full time now. No more part time. Once I hit these.
Doesn't sound like you're retired anymore.
No, retirement's not what it's cracked up to be.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Well,
if you can actually do it.
No, it depends on whether or not you're retired and your wife's not. Well, see, once my wife retired.
No, she's retired too.
She's retired now. See, so she's, it'll be 2 years in April or May. Anyway, so I work harder than when I'm working. So I want to go to work so I don't have to work as hard. Does that make sense?
Yeah, actually, from a male logic, that makes perfect sense.
Oh man, the honey, catching up on stuff around the house. And
yeah.
It also with the woodworking deal, it gives me an excuse to hang out in the shop all the time, which I can do.
That's interesting.
That was weird.
What'd you do? Drop?
I don't know what gremlins, I guess. Why it did that.
But yeah, but no, now I'm going to go out and work it. go to work, and I can come out in the shop and do whatever. I can do my signs. I can do the train. Yes.
Jack says, my friends retired and came back to work a year later, the other one 2 weeks later. And I used to see that when I was younger. I'd see these old guys that I'd be doing plumbing on their house. And they were telling me, well, they had to leave for work. And I said, oh, you're not retired? He said, oh, I get bored at the house. And I'm thinking, well, you have no hobbies, dude. Get a hobby. And if you're not going to get a hobby, go volunteer somewhere.
Yeah.
He was working at McDonald's just to have something to do. And I thought, how sad is that? Get a hobby, or find some place you can volunteer your time. And instead of, now, if you need to work
hobbies tend to be expensive, so I hear.
Say what?
Hobbies tend to be expensive, so I hear.
Well, they do, but not all of them are real expensive. I mean, you can start fishing or something like that and not cost you a lot of money.
Well, see, what I found a way to make another hobby pay for itself.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You can do that too. But there's, I just thought it was awfully sad that he was working at McDonald's just to have something to do.
Yeah.
But if you're wanting that people interaction, go volunteer somewhere. There's lots of places that you can volunteer and give your time and interact with people and give you something to do.
Yeah, go drive a school bus.
Yeah, but I every time I hear that, I just shake my head thinking, oh, how sad they don't have some interest that they'd rather do.
That happens frequently. You hear about a lot of people are looking forward to retirement, but they don't really plan for retirement. Maybe financially they have, but what are you going to do? You've been working all of your life, and then all of a sudden, maybe you have a honey-do list that'll keep you busy for, maybe a few months. And then after that, you got to have something that holds your interest and keeps you active. If you're not active, you're not going to be retired or around long. You got to do something that keeps you moving. Yeah.
Well, it's like my wife, when she retired, she had to start doing something. So there's only so much around the house she could do. And then she gets bored if she has to sit and just watch TV or something. And she doesn't do crafts and stuff like that. That's just not her thing. But she does play golf. So she's in a golf thing. We bowl on Sunday nights. Well, she's joined another bowling league with some of the people that she plays golf with. And then she plays pickleball twice a week. So now she hasn't been doing that for the last month because she broke her toe. But she's getting ready to start getting back into that. And she'll be gone all the time. So I see her slightly more than I did when she was working all the time. But that's great. She's out moving around and doing something that she likes to do instead of sitting at home because she gets bored too. I can only to do.
You can only watch so much television.
Oh, we don't watch a lot.
It all rots your brain anyway.
Yeah, it does.
She likes watching Jeopardy, and she likes watching her cooking shows. And then we'll watch a movie or something in the evenings. And then we've got stuff that we rewatch all the time. I mean, last night we watched Grumpy Old Man and Grumpier Old Man back to back. That's what we watched on TV. We don't watch network TV much.
I don't either.
Nothing on that's worth watching anymore. But, that's the little bit that we do. And then she goes to bed early and I'll come in and get on the computer or do something like that, or go back out in the shop and work on my layout or something related to that. So I've got plenty of things to do that I don't get tired. It kind of hurts. It breaks my heart to see guys that have worked all their life and they get to retirement and then they go back to work because they got nothing else to do.
And they end up at, you work all your life and then you end up at McDonald's.
Yeah. And I can understand there are people that loved what they were doing work-wise and they don't retire. I've got the guy I play golf with. He doesn't really love what he's doing, but he likes actually going to work, which is weird. But, but he's still working. He's quite a bit older than I am. But he doesn't have any other hobbies besides golf. So,
Well, the old saying, if you like what you do, you never work a day in your life.
exactly.
Yeah.
We used to preach that to the kids. So, and my son's got a job like that now. He's working for university and he loves it. And,
You know, and very few people get to do that. I mean, how many people enjoy what they do?
yeah. Well, he worked for Oklahoma State University, and of course, he graduated from there, and he just loves the place. And he took a big pay cut to go there, but once he got his foot in the door, he's making decent money now. So he really likes the place, which is great. I mean, if you can do something like that, you're right, it's not work. You get up and it's something you like doing. But anyway,
well, and see, that's the fun. I like driving the school bus. As weird as it, I enjoy that. That's fun.
Yeah.
So I look forward to going to work.
I would have liked to have a hobby shop. In fact, Brenda and I talked about doing that. And I said, well, and this was probably 10, 15 years ago. And I said, no, the brick and mortar hobby shops are going downhill. And if you don't have an online presence, you're not going to make any money. And of course, if you got a brick and mortar, that costs you that money too, to have your stuff there. So I said, no, I don't think it's a good time to open a hobby shop. There's just not, the kids these days don't do hobbies nearly like we did when we were kids, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's sad.
True.
So what is everybody talking about in chat here?
I don't know. All I know is, well, Claude knows this. My shop still smells like odorless paint thinner. It stinks up. I had
Ask him, I said, well, if it's odorless, how do you know it smells like that?
in a little half pint tin of odorless thinner cleaning, and I knocked it over. So it spilled all over everything, and man, it stinks out here. It's not odorless.
And you're sure it's the paint thinner?
Oh yeah.
Just checking.
Yeah, no, it is. I haven't had any beans and I don't drink, so.
Okay, so I got a question for everybody on the show and everybody in chat. Christmas is coming up. What's one thing everybody wants for Christmas? Not collectively, but give us your one thing you'd really like for Christmas.
A planer.
Steve wants a planer.
Planer.
Stationary or portable?
I guess it would be portable. Just, something I can stick on, somewhere and plain rough lumber. Because, I've got a joiner. You only do so much with a joiner. You can do a whole lot with a planer. Because I want to make cutting boards too. And it's a lot easier with the planer.
Yeah. I've got a nice Delta portable planer sitting just down at my feet that I don't think I've turned on in 23 years.
Oh, send it here. I'll use it.
If the shipping would be less, I would, but a little heavy.
Yeah, it costs more to ship it than it would be to buy a new one.
Yeah.
But no, I gotta get a planer.
Oh, I like Ray's. He wants his 2 front teeth. 3D printer seems to be common.
Laser printers.
Yeah.
That's the last time I needed something else like that to do.
I would love to have a laser cutter, but I think what I would really like is those 2 bulk oil structures that Michael McCarville is threatening to turn into kits. I don't know if he has or not yet, but I would love to have those 2 buildings for my layout. Right up here is where they would go, I think.
You see that one, Steve?
Lots of Atlas. Oh, geez. Yeah.
Of course, what you have is an Atlas, isn't it? It's just rail.
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh, it's all Atlas.
Don't you have a bunch of Code 100 rail?
Oh, yeah. And Code 70.
Oh,
Code 70. Who needs rail?
I could use some of the Code 70, but I don't think I need any more now.
Oh, no, I got a ton of it. I'll never use it. I also have a ton of KD spikes. If anybody knows anybody that has a KD spiking gun and needs spikes, man, I got enough spikes to last them their life and then some.
Yeah. If I ever do a major HO scale layout, I'm planning on doing that. I've got a KD spiker. I just have never used it.
Oh, I've got spikes that my dad had and no spike gun, and I'll never use them. I mean, seriously, these things they're hundreds of them.
Well, you know, I see all these hand spike things like that turntable deck you sent me, Steve. It's dual gauge turntable deck, and every tie is spiked on both rails. Well, on a dual gauge turntable, they're not 3 rails; it's 4 rails because it has to be in the middle. And every one of them spiked, and I'm thinking, that would drive me crazy trying to hand spike that. So it had to have been done with like a KD spiker. Did your dad use a KD spiker?
His club did.
Okay.
Yeah, the club down at the Alameda County Fairgrounds in the Bay Area in California did. It was massive. It was huge. It was all hand laid track. And my dad was big into hand laying, but it was all in place. You know, and he built the frogs. He built a kind of a rudimentary jig for making the frogs and soldered it, filed it, and that was what he enjoyed doing, was hand laying track and laying switches in these long, massive ladder lines with the track. And the club started using a spike gun, but then they quit. But most of it's all hand laid. I remember as a kid going there and hand laying track for hours and hours, just spiking. I don't know.
We're losing. We're losing.
Turned into a robot again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll have to bring that turntable deck that he sent me that his dad did, and
my dad did
build an A-frame and stuff for it, and it's going to be a desk display or a shelf display.
No, my dad didn't make that. I found that at an antique store for
did you?
$10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was one your dad made.
No, I just found that it was too good a deal for $10 to not buy, because somebody put a lot of work into it.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna build an A-frame stuff for it. It's got all the brackets for all the wiring and cables and stuff, and it'll make a real nice display piece.
Yeah.
And it's a dual gauge turntable, but it's every tie is spiked on all 4 rails.
Wow.
It's crazy. I can't believe that they didn't split.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing they had to use a gun. And the only thing I can think of, get it in there, hit it fast enough it wouldn't split. But I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know, but I think you could.
Oh. I don't. For me, as far as Christmas, I don't really have anything that I want to get my layout finished. And I told Brenda about, I don't know, 6-8 months ago that my timeline, if everything worked out like I wanted, I'd be at least have it up there and be starting on the upper deck balance and stuff by Christmas, and I'll be pretty close to that, hopefully. If nothing major happens around here, it takes my time away. But
I'd like to have all of my track laid in the next 2 years. It's kind of my goal. I don't know if I will or not, but
well, you'd have a lot easier time now that you're home more. I would think.
Yeah. I'm still not getting home early though. You know, I'm still getting home at like 5:30 is the earliest I get home. And right now, because the sun's already down, I don't know what it is about daylight, but you know, if you still had 2 more hours of daylight, for some reason you have 2 more hours of energy. I don't have any energy when I come home at 5:30 and it's already dark. It's weird that way.
Yeah.
What is it about the time change that you lose an hour and all of a sudden it feels like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it's 3 in the morning?
Yeah, I think it's just nature. That's the only thing I can figure.
Yeah. When it's dark, our bodies say, "Hey, it's time to settle in and go to sleep."
Yeah, well, it's like Annie, the dog you saw in here. She's an Australian Shepherd. Way too smart for her own good. And tell time, she knows when it's every 2 hours is when she usually gets a snack of some sort. She knows when dinner time is. And that's what really messed her, got her going crazy, because she would normally gets fed at 4:30, 4:45, more in there. Well, she was coming at 3:30 going, it's time to eat.
You'll be sitting there, you look down and there's Blue sitting at you, looking at you. You look up at the clock and it's 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's like, how
do you know that time to eat? Yeah.
do you time for dinner?
Yeah. It's crazy how much they know that. And Lily won't do anything. She'll just sit there and tag along with Annie, because she knows Annie will bug me until I get up. But, well, we got 4 minutes left, guys. We actually didn't run over today.
I'll be lucky if my battery lasts another 4 minutes. I started at 8%. It's been plugged in the entire time. It says that it's plugged in, but I'm now at 1%. I don't know what's going on.
Well, he says there's a theory out there that dogs can smell time. Well, it's kind of like Steve smelling odorless paint thinner.
Odorless paint thinner, but I believe it's dog time. I believe it.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
So, Dennis, how much longer do you have before you're retired? Because then your layout goes full time.
Well,
right?
I could walk away from my current job right now anytime I want, but the benefits are really too good to walk away. I've got like 1,400 hours of sick leave that, if I quit tomorrow and I get sick, I've got nothing. So, and I also am accruing like 14 hours of annual leave every month. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense for me to walk away unless I could find a job that had good benefits and also paid about the same. Because my house is not paid for yet. I've still got 5 or 7 years, maybe more to pay on it. I don't remember, but it doesn't make good sense to walk away right now.
Yeah. We still got a couple minutes. Who was it? Somebody's going. Jack's going to Addison, and and Anthony says, discount model trains. I know of that place. I've not been there, but I'm 300 miles from Dallas too. A little over 300 miles from Dallas, so it's not like I'm going to drive 300 miles to go to the train store. But I've heard it's a pretty good store. So maybe we get Jack to do a live stream from there one day, so we know what's going on.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Let us know, Jack, on that, or post it on your site. Just take video and then post it on your site so we can get a look at discount trains there in Addison. I think that's where they're at, if that's the one he's talking about.
I feel blind. I can't read chat. It's like, this sucks.
Well, that's something you need to get figured out.
Yeah. The internet gremlins.
Yeah. Oh, John's here. Good to see you, John. He says he always goes to discount when in Denton for work.
Which John? We have so many.
Pilot John.
2618.
18.
Yeah.
Our favorite.
You're supposed to come on the show, John.
Yeah. Well,
Send me an email when you want to come on, and we'll get you on here.
we're going to be getting Joe G on here at some point too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Anybody in the chat wants to come on, just send us an email, man. We'll get you on here.
Otherwise, you got to listen to us. And that gets boring.
Of course, they're afraid to come on there because they know what the chat does to us. So
We're used to it.
no, really, it's not that bad. Anyway, that's our hour, guys. Bill, great to have you back, man.
Good to be back.
Now we get Jerry back. We'll have the whole crew back here. Steve, work on the internet. Keep up the woodworking.
Yeah.
Dennis, take care. Tell Bill,
Yep.
I didn't see her in chat today.
I don't know what she's doing today.
Yeah, well, tell her hello. And everybody in chat, good to see you. We'll be back next week. So same time, same channel. Take care. Have a good week.
See
Have
y'all.
a good day, everyone.